possible, because that will be the last of that type of day, that kind of day in your life. Let's hope that the entire day will be better than yesterday. That's what all of us always think, that tomorrow should be better, today should even be better than yesterday, and today is the only day that we have. A wise man once said, the past is past, the future is uncertain, today is a gift. That's why it is called the present. My name is Nyamgul Agaji, and this is Front Page Review. You say the word, we amplify. That's what we do. What we do also is to bring you the headlines on some of our national dailies and ask you to say what you feel about those headlines and how they affect our country, Nigeria, which we hope will grow better than it is currently. Okay, so what we do on the show is, after we bring you that, we first of all join Rufai Hosseini to give us his own thoughts about the headlines, and then today, being Tuesday, our guest will be joining us. Prince Chilaka will be joining us right after that to x-ray some of these headlines. We'll move on then to open the lines. That will be about 8 o'clock to open the lines for you to call us and tell us what you feel on your own part. But in the meantime, we encourage you to send in your messages while we're waiting for the time to open the lines for the calls. Send in your messages to us. We'll read out the numbers a little bit later. But right now, let's go straight to the papers and see what is in the papers. Now, on the Punch newspaper, the first headline, or the leading headline here before me, is Barefoot Almajiri Boy Earns Varsity Degree. It's good to start with an inspiring story. So you just read that story and see how a barefoot Almajiri boy has earned a university degree right now. How was his journey like? It will inspire somebody to read that. Now, other news items are U.S. attack. Nigeria must strengthen security. That's according to APC chieftain. San urges Gombe lawyers to embrace tax reforms. Ex-army boss commends northern governors over security fund. Banditry. PDP Abdul Razak trade blame as hoodlums flock female protesters. KB APC suspends local government chair for alleged misconduct. And then NAFDAC warns of fake condoms in Lagos, Abuja, and other markets. Let's just take a peek into that story. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control has issued a public alert warning Nigerians about the circulation of counterfeit Kiss brand condoms in major markets across the country. In a statement published on its website on Monday and referenced as the public alert number 042-2025, the agency said it received the information from a DKT International Nigeria, a leading non-governmental organization involved in contraceptive, social marketing, and HIV/AIDS prevention. I was reading the story and I was asking myself, how did it enter Nigeria? What did the Standard Organization do? What was the role they played? What did NAFDAC do that a non-governmental organization had to be the one to report that there was a fake condom in the market? And this is not to say that the entire brand is bad, but there is a particular one that is fake. I wish they could let us know how to identify the fake one before we end up with unwanted pregnancies or worse, HIV/AIDS or other sexually transmitted diseases. It's very important information that people need to know, especially in this obile season. Okay, so we move to the next newspaper, the Daily Trust. This leads with Yobe. Kidney disease researchers detect metal in water samples. Okay. Northern elders to Nigerians oppose federal government's reckless borrowing. Oppose federal government's reckless borrowing. Re-gazetting tax law illegal. That's according to lawyers. Remember that it has been proposed that the tax law be re-gazetted, and the lawyers are saying it is illegal. But Nigerians are still asking the simplest of questions: who manipulated the tax law? Let us know who it is. Let the person be punished appropriately. But if it is the president, it's very unfortunate. So let's know who is involved in it. Women Affairs Minister flags off food intervention for vulnerable homes. Anambra, Zamfara domesticate tax reforms. And then bandits attack Kebbi community, kill residents. We also have Kwara, kidnappers demand 500 million for construction workers. Okay, this reminds me of a story we had here some time ago. A fan of VOP, or a listener of VOP, sent in a message that his friend, a pastor, Emmanuel Ogbonna, had been kidnapped and the wife was asking for help and all that. I just watched a video of Pastor Emmanuel Ogbonna testifying how it was in the kidnapper's den. That means he has been he was not released. He was able to escape. He tried his best to get the help that he needed, but the help was not forthcoming. And according to him, not because people didn't want to, but because the place is really hard. So he couldn't get the, was it 50 million they were asking for his head. So on that day, there was a strong wind, and he took that advantage because the people were asleep. The kidnappers were asleep. But the video was a bit long, but I thank God, and I'm sure that some people in the VOP family prayed for his well-being. And even if you couldn't send in your money, he is appreciative of whatever help that you rendered while he was in captivity. Now we move to Vanguard newspaper this morning, and Vanguard newspaper leads with PDP crisis, Wike attacks Makinde, Fubara. And then 2027, I'm better prepared to lead Nigeria. That is according to Peter Obi. And the unfortunate news that got to us yesterday, and is carried in all the papers, horror crash, AJ rushed to hospital, 2 aides dead. Now these aides, we understand, were his coaches, and they were in the car with him, and they died on the spot. But he was rushed to the hospital and all that, and people were watching the videos, and everybody was so disappointed that there was no ambulance inside. And what will be the story that will leave Nigerian shores, because this is an international news and everybody will be interested. What happened after the crash? Why did the crash happen? Even though we've been given information that it was overspeeding and wrong overtaking, which we blame the driver squarely, but after that, when the accident has happened, it's called an accident. When it has happened, what happens to people? Not just AJ, but this is an eye-opener in case the government has not even thought about it before. One of the headlines in one of these newspapers said the president has spoken about this accident, and I was shocked. I was happy the president found his voice, but I was shocked also that so many things have happened in Nigeria that Nigerians wanted the president to address us, but he did not. But in AJ's case, I'm happy that he did this, and he has given an update. We'll be listening and checking the channels of the president to find out what the update is, since he has decided to talk about it. So, assault, ex-AIT boss Obaseki narrates ordeal as Amnesty PDP orders demand justice. Don't abandon your Christian faith, Mrs. Akume begs husband. Okay, I don't know which of the Mrs. Akumes. Is it the new Mrs. Akume or the old Mrs. Akume? You might want to know. The lawmaker representing Boko Tarka Federal constituency in the National Assembly, Mrs. Regina Akume, has urged her husband, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, SGF, Senator George Akume, to fully return to Christianity, stressing that his achievements in life were rooted in his Christian faith. Mrs. Akume made the appeal in a viral video recorded during the wedding reception of the SGF's son, held on Sunday in Makurdi, Benue State. Senator Akume celebrated his 72nd birthday anniversary last weekend. Okay, interesting news. If you like a little bit of gossip. We move now to the Sun newspaper. The Sun leads with 2027 Wike accuses Makinde of hiding 30 billion naira donation from Tinubu. Okay, so now it seems it's a collaboration. Fayose on one hand, Wike on the other hand, talking about the same 30 billion naira. Ayedatiwa signs 2026 budget of 524.4 billion naira into law. 524.4 billion naira into law. Kano Assembly passes 1.47 trillion naira budget, pays tribute to late colleagues. Then food security push stalled by worsening insecurity. How reserves hit 45.24 billion naira despite microeconomics. All right, so let's move to the next newspaper. The next newspaper is the Daily Post, which leads with 2025 fourth national grid collapse wreaks havoc on Nigerians and businesses. Okay, the story I was telling you about, Anthony Joshua accident. Tinubu gives update after conversation with boxer. All right, thank you, Mr. President, for the update. We'll be listening for updates. Maybe it will be part of the national address for the new year. Let's move to the Guardian quickly. Tinubu speaks with Anthony Joshua, offers condolences over associate's death. We've taken that. Now, NLC vows to reject unjust tax system. Police and Southeast constitutional imperative, not political luxury. And then Ezekome urges brand leaders to imbibe purpose, adaptability. Okay, let's move to the Nation newspaper, the final newspaper for this morning. Otedola divests 77% equity in Geregu power plant. Court summons CBN NDIC over revocation of ASO Savings Union Homes licenses. Then insecurity, SDP falls political interference in military operations. What do we have again? The federal government revalidates Ondo deep sea port in blue economy push. Okay, so these are the headlines. Leading barefoot Almajiri boy earns varsity degree on the Punch. Kidney disease researchers detect metal in water sample. That is on Daily Trust. I'm just taking the leading headlines now. PDP crisis, Wike attacks Makinde, Fubara, and then we also have from the Sun. Okay, the same story, Wike accusing Makinde, and then we have from the Guardian. Tinubu speaks with Anthony Joshua, offers condolences over associate's death. And then on the Nation newspaper, boxing icon Anthony Joshua stable after fatal car crash. All right, so we'll go quickly to Rufai Oseni, to give us his thoughts on the headlines this morning.
Making the rounds. So Wike had his media chats, pretty much, where he responded to Sheyi Makinde, and he tried to address some things as regards the politics going on in the state, tried to reiterate his position in the PDP. But what is obvious is that in the last couple of days, the fact that Fubara has gone ahead to join the APC has definitely upended Wike, and it shows. Because he was asked a question during the media chats, that will he be able to say he can give Fubara his 100% support? So he said no, it's dependent on many factors. In fact, while he was even speaking, he posited an hypothetical, saying that people should not think that they have it all. In a case, for instance, where he decides to support another political party and another political structure, then definitely they're going to have a hard time. And all of that was a veiled reference to Fubara. So it's interesting that Fubara first threw the first salvo by talking about the corner analogy, Wike has then since replied, and it's not easy for both of them. In fact, it is said that in January, Wike will be doing a local government tour to be able to cement his base in Rivers State, and the political dynamics will go on. All of this for 2027. But the interesting part a lot of political analysts are looking at is, who will President Tinubu now pick amongst them? Will you pick a serving governor or decide to work with Wike? The thing about President Tinubu there is quite very fluid. As you must have heard from Seyi Makinde's interview, that after supporting President Tinubu to emerge, once he emerged, when Seyi Makinde went to meet him and said, okay, at least I should be able to give you a ministerial candidate, he reneged on the agreement and he picked somebody else to be the ministerial representative from the states. In fact, after he didn't do the bidding of Seyi Makinde, the next thing was that he was asking Seyi Makinde a favor for him to help him organize the political party APC in his state, in Oyo State. So it shows that President Tinubu can be free. But, I mean, the ball is in President Tinubu's court. It's going to be lobbying of the highest order now between Wiki and Fubara, so that they might be the worst President Tinubu might want to work with. And by the way, President Tinubu has also gone abroad. I don't know, maybe the second home now for Nigerian president is France. Because check many times that he has gone abroad, it's getting too much. In fact, I was just saying today, maybe they will go and do extra air in France now, because the way President Tinubu has gone to France has gone abroad too much. And at this time around, as he goes, it's going to be around the 10 to the 15, because he's going to come back, because he's going to, from wherever he is, go to the Middle East for a summit, and from then on, he'll make his way back. So these are the many problems on ground. When he was also asked about Ireti Kingibe, Wiki tried evading the question by saying he has no problems with Ireti Kingibe. In fact, he wrote out a letter that Ireti Kingibe wrote him, but we all know that they are loggerheads, they are not in good terms. And he has come out openly many times to attack him and say how very difficult it is to work, with Wiki as the FCT minister. The Cable newspaper is carrying an analysis saying that investigators have linked the bulk of the wealth of Malami to a number of sources. Some of them are Paris Club, CBN Agri loans, and all of that. Yes, interestingly, there's a media warfare going on between the Malami camp and the EFCC. But we can also observe the fact that corruption rages very high in our country. We must speak against corruption. But the reason why corruption also rages high, and the reason we only hear about corruption, is when people are political loggerheads. The question I keep asking the government is, why is it that all of a sudden, once Malami was seen to be with the ADC, that's why all of this came out. Why wasn't Malami singled out and was picked on, or the investigation had started while this government came in? I know the argument would be, and maybe they were still doing their investigation, trying to get their facts and all of that. And why have there been a legal conundrum back and forth as regards the Malami case? So anyway, what the Cable is reporting is all very speculative. Where they are saying that in 2016, Malami had 2 Nigerian lawyers for repatriation of over 300 million. The repatriation of the funds started before the administration of Buhari. The monies have been recovered and frozen, but the repatriation process was stalled in 2015 following a lawsuit by the Abachas. Nigeria paid 4% of the recovered Luxembourg assets as professional fees, in addition to roughly 6.8 million to money flow at the Leicester recovery. Since all the fee has been paid in Nigeria, it was only required that Malami, who was then AGF, would sign an MOU with the Swiss authority. However, Malami, in a suspicion move, engaged the services of 2 Nigerian lawyers, which cost the country another 16 million. Malami engaged the 2 lawyers to duplicate the job of Swiss lawyers and get their cuts. And the Cable understands that these 2 lawyers have been interrogated by EFCC and they make useful statements. All of these are very speculative. The truth also, we should not deceive ourselves about, is that the political warfare is also going. So, except I see a real hard evidence as regards the link and the tedious link and cash transaction of how that amount ended up in Malami's account, I like to take these things with a pinch of salt. It is when they fight politically, they put us in the middle of all of their chaos. And that's what the political class does. So we'll keep looking at it. But don't get me wrong, we're not saying don't fight corruption. Please fight corruption. But also fight it with sincerity. Because there have also been people with cases of allegation of corruption that are cross-board, that are frolicking with this government, and we've not seen the end of that matter. So let's keep deceiving ourselves. 3 killed as security operative at drug peddlers clash in Katsina. I still hear, in fact, they are sending me messages as regards the GNI building on Lagos Island, that some people are still trapped there, that they should look out for them. Nigeria joins AU, Jordan, and others to reject Israel's recognition of Somaliland. So this is what is happening as regards the Israel recognition of Somaliland. It's just for access. So Israel wants an access as regards a particular strait close to Somaliland, where they can use to be as a launching ground to be able to fight the Houthi rebels. Israel normally operates on this peripheral diplomacy issue, where they have some states which they align with. Now it's Somaliland, because of the access that they get through the strait of that region to be able to fight what is happening, the Houthi rebels. But some nations are kicking against Nigeria and Jordan and all of that. On issues like this, Nigeria's position has always been non-aligned. So one is taking it back as regards even the position we are taking as a nation as regards, challenging Israel, And anyway, it's not that Israel too has done well. In the case of Palestinians, we have also berated Israel for the constant attack on the Palestinians. But as regards Israel making a declaration and accepting that Somaliland is recognized, and Nigeria are now saying, oh, we are not cool with it, and we are joining Muslim-leaning nations to be able to speak about like the Jordans of this world and the likes. And lots of people are saying, what are we really doing at this point in time? Owing to the fact that we are just even carrying out anti-terrorism activities with America on our own soil, and the Americans also tilt towards the Israelis. FG released 30 billion, not 50 billion over about the explosion. Governor Makinde replies fire shame. Oyo State Governor has dismissed allegations that he diverted a chunk of the 50 billion provided after the January 2024 explosion, describing the claim as false and misleading and politically driven. I reported that Fire had accused the governor of receiving 50 billion from the federal government and failing to disclose it publicly while allegedly dividing the bulk of this money. All of this too, when you look at this, when politicians fight, they like to put us in the middle of it. The fight between Seyi Makinde and Oshokomole, I identify as Seyi, didn't start today. The fight, in fact, was because of the supremacy. Who was going to be the leader of the PDP in the Southwest. That's where the fight started from. And Seyi Makinde did assert himself. So now that somebody that Fayose is also aligned with Wike is fighting Seyi Makinde, obviously, PDP had gone kaput. Then Fayose too is quick for him to be able to take shots. The document, the so-called document they released, was not a document indicating that money had been paid to the rest of the government. In fact, it was just a document requesting 50 billion to be able to aid the state in the bombing. Yes, I remember the bombing that happened where I think some people that dealt with minerals, I think they stole maybe minerals in a particular house or dynamite or something, and it exploded around Bodija area, which caused damage. So for you to now make the allegation, then you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt, not just the only document, the only shred of documents that Identifier has now been able to release is the request made to the Attorney General. No. In fact, the government has said, okay, he collected 30 billion. The government too should be accountable to him to show what he did with that 30 billion. Accountability is the honor of the day. But Identifier that is making accusation, he too needs to be able to show us. If the government diverted a chunk of money, do you have your hard evidence as regards the bank account and everything went to? You see, because these politicians, what we don't know about them is this. It is when they are fighting, they come to recruit us in the media to be able to do all of their dirty job. That's when they remember. But when the game is good, there is no problem. And the half measures and the half truths that they spew is always something that we look at with a lot of disdain. We have to reiterate it that it's very sad that President Tinubu is leaving the country at a time when we still have a dispute about the tax palaver and the tax laws. So today, the National Assembly has not been able to show us their own harmonized copy so that we can compare and contrast. All they have done now is that say they want to re-gazette. So if people want to collect taxes from people and there's no basic integrity as regards how the system goes, then what do we want for ourselves in the country? Which kind of country are we building? I mean, these are many questions we need to be able to ask ourselves. And if we don't ask ourselves this question, we don't move anywhere as a nation. We keep wallowing and we keep going through trials and tribulations.
I mean, very sad story coming out of Ogun State. Anthony Joshua, world boxing champ, had an accident today where he lost his coach and his very dear friend. They came home for the December holiday. It was around the expressway, Lagos about the expressway. The FRSC said the car was speeding, and because of that, that led to an accident on impact on a stationary vehicle. Very sad one. We just pray for the repose of the souls lost, and I'm glad Anthony Joshua is doing well. He's in and hearty. I sustained some injuries, but he still needs a lot of medical examination. It's a very, very sad one. Very sad one. We just pray for help and healing at a point in time like this. And we just hope all is well at a point in time like this. Very, very sad one for Anthony Joshua. But it's not going to deter him. He will come back, he'll bounce back strong. And we are still waiting on the authorities going to Edo State now to be able to come out and arrest those that attacked Don Pedro Obaseki. In fact, today I got a chance to speak with Don Pedro Obaseki, and he talked about the incident being a clear incident of thuggery at its highest order. And it's a very sad one, very sad ordeal. So we just hope that those that perpetrated that heinous crime will be brought to book, and the law will take its course. Anyway, the police know them, they are not hidden. So it's just for the police authorities to be able to stand up and stand firm and be able to get to the root of the matter.
Okay, thank you very much, Rufai, for your thoughts on the headlines this morning. We're being joined by our guest in the studio that I promised you will be joining us, Prince Chilaka. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Namgo, good morning.
Okay, how was Christmas celebration, by the way?
Oh, Christmas was okay, but then, there was a blackout.
Yeah.
And we now hear that it has extended to a national grid collapse.
For the fourth time in this year. They tried this year because we've seen years that it collapsed more than 6 to 10 times even.
Well, it's not about whether they've tried, it's about whether there has been light. If the supply doesn't meet the demand, then what are we talking about?
All these things they tell us about this upgrading of our power system and all that, and even this was one of the campaign mantras of the president, that if he doesn't give us light
in 6 months, I mean, this is 2 years down the line, Nigerians are still crying under the fact that they don't have light, and even those who have, they're paying from their hand, their neck, their body, everything they're using it to pay for light. So, I mean, Mr. President, please, we We're using style to remind you that 2027 is close by. Yeah.
Okay, maybe the light they were promising us was sunlight,
Well, maybe that's because the presidency has moved. They've moved from the national grid to solar, so maybe that was the promise. But he didn't. He wasn't very clear about it.
We should ask questions.
Yes, well, like I was telling people that when the late President Buhari was campaigning, he was shouting change.
And we didn't ask him.
No, he was shouting change. Nigerians were shouting change. And when he came to power, what did he do? He changed Nigerians.
Oh, if you put it like that, it's serious. Okay, let's go to the headlines this morning. The SAN, let me take this one first. SAN urges Gombe lawyers to embrace tax reforms. Now, maybe it's a good advice, but what worries me here is the fact that it seems as if we've just swept under the carpet whoever manipulated this tax law, because nobody's talking about who manipulated it. It is whether we should reject it or whether we should follow it and all that. It worries me.
Well, the SAN, an institution that was revered, has also become political. They dance to the tune of who the president is, because most of them, don't forget, it's an appointment. It's not like it's not something that you would have basis to say, oh, he worked for it. It's an appointment, and it's unfortunate that our legal system has continued to fail the Nigerian people. The judiciary has continued to fail the Nigerian people. I mean, somebody has pointed out an error, a grave error. That error calls for the impeachment of Mr. President. But nobody's talking about it. Nobody's asking questions. Nobody's saying who is responsible. Nobody wants to take account. Nobody wants to be held accountable. Nobody wants to be held responsible. And everybody wants us to just close our eyes and move on. Is this the kind of leadership that Nigerians want? And these sons who have gathered to spew this rubbish they are spewing, do they have integrity? Do they have integrity? Because you are indirectly trying to say, oh, anything that is illegal has become a legal thing in Nigeria. But if it is a man who goes to steal a tuber of yam, you will sit in judgment and send him to prison for 10 years. But we're looking at something that has affected, that has impugned on our constitution. Well, I call it obnoxious document because I don't believe in that document. So we're looking at it.
Have you even seen it?
I've never seen it. Because the only thing that really got me peace was when they said, in the beginning, they said, we, the Nigerian people, I am not part, I was not consulted. But the truth of the matter is that something is wrong in the system. And we're all closing our eyes and saying, oh, let us go ahead. I hear the chairman of the committee that is working on the tax. So, I'll try and remember. Yes, he keeps coming, he keeps speaking to Nigerians as if he's actually a demigod. He says not even the president can stop the implementation of the tax law. And people are telling you that the law you are having in your hands is faulty. So are we now saying that the executive arm of government has become so powerful that nobody will checkmate them? Then why do you have the National Assembly? And then the National Assembly itself has also ridiculed itself. You want to re-gazette a law. You have not asked questions. You have not sorted out the impunity that has been played out. And you want to re-gazette it. And you think Nigeria should swallow it and go to sleep? This Senate is actually the worst Senate we've ever had in this country.
But things that happen always come with the heaven will not fall. Do you think heaven will fall in this one? Because it doesn't seem as if they're going to do anything about it.
Yes, because the Nigerian people have allowed themselves to be captured.
So heaven will not fall.
Yes, they have allowed themselves to be captured. The Nigerian people, in giving their sovereignty to those to govern them, did not think of tomorrow. They did not think of the repercussions of not being able to hold their leaders accountable.
I was just wondering what kind of powers that the tax chairman, the Oyodele, has, that he will be the one to address Nigerians in a moment of grievance, so to speak, because the president has not said anything And even the National Assembly that is talking is not talking to the people. They're just talking to themselves.
The Nigerian people don't matter to this leadership. And you know why? Because most of them will tell you, we spent our money on the people to get into power. And that is why we keep telling Nigerians, so long as you collect these pittance they give to you, you have no say. You have no say. Democracy is for the people. The people should be the ones driving democratic governance. But in Nigeria, no. The few political class are the ones loading it over everyone. And they are loading it with impunity. They have no regards, no respect, nothing for the Nigerian people. And that is why you see all the governors running from their different parties into APC. And you ask, they tell you want to be closer to the center. What has the center done for the Nigerian people? You saw people traveling for Christmas. People spend 2-3 days on the road because Benin bypass is a no-go. Lokoja, the same. And then everybody's going to the center. What has the center offered?
Protection.
What kind of protection? Is it the same center that has not been able to take care of bandits, kidnappers, terrorists? So what is there in the center, if not greed and selfishness?
Still protection. Political protection of political bandits. Maybe.
Okay. But that's the truth, because if you look at it, you find out that the bandits will hold you hostage, and they make this demand for ransom. Our politicians are doing the same, and that's why they hold Nigerians by the jugular and they say, "This is where we want you to vote. This is where we want you to go to." But I'll tell you, 2027 will be the political class against the Nigerian people.
Okay, still on the tax law, maybe we've touched it a little bit, but lawyers are saying to regazette that tax law is illegal. Apart from the fact that we're still asking other questions that have not been answered, they're saying that it is illegal.
Well, if they're saying it is illegal in one hand, SANS are saying on the other hand, you must obey. So who is fooling who? Who is fooling who? You're telling us that, oh, this thing is illegal. On the other hand, you're asking us to respect it. Then it means that, you guys are speaking from two sides of the mouth.
But at this point, two states have already domesticated these tax reforms. That is Anambra and Zamfara. Okay, one in the south, one in the north, as it is. They have already domesticated these tax reforms. And I wonder under what basis they did this.
Well, you know that, to start with, you know that Charles Sowore in Anambra, the solution, he would do whatever it takes to be in the good books of Mr. President. Same as Zamfara State Governor. Zamfara State Governor is going for a second term.
But Soludo isn't.
Well, if he doesn't do it, impeachment is not far. See, people keep talking about your president as being a powerful strategist politically. I give that to him. He's very sagacious when it comes to that. But your president is not sagacious when it comes to leadership and governance. These are two different things. In terms of, playing the chess, in terms of knowing what moves to make politically, who to put, he's good at it. But in terms of leadership and good governance, he is far from it.
So what do we need? Do we need a political strategist or we need a leader?
We need a leader. Nigeria has not had a leader. We've always had rulers. Because if you have a leader in the time of crisis, with all the bombing, the airstrike that has happened in Sokoto, the fact that we're fighting terrorists, and your president would not wake up and disappear. He would not. He would stand with the people. Since after this strike, has your president spoken to the Nigerian people?
Well, he just spoke yesterday.
Has he spoken? Donald Trump spoke As in, it was aired and he put it there and everybody saw it. That is what leadership is all about.
Our president doesn't go to social media. That's what he said.
No, but he's on social media. He's always posting.
He said he doesn't go to social media because he's abused.
If he doesn't go there, he's always posting. Why don't you go where you'll be, abused and criticized, so you understand what the people are feeling? It's not an abuse. It's not an issue of he being abused. It's an issue of people pouring out their hearts. And what do you do as a leader? You listen. You act. But saying, oh, okay, you ignore them. You don't want to associate because they're abusing you. Yeah, you're not a good leader.
I've had experience of how information is tailored. It's doctored for a governor or a president. If you work in the library, the people, because you can't read everything, the people who work in the library are the ones that will give you, okay, Your Excellency, there are important things here you need to see. They decide what you read. Possibly that's what the people around the president are doing, just giving him information that they feel the president needs to see and leave the rest.
A president who spent 20, 30 years preparing to be a president should know better.
Was he preparing to be a president or he was preparing to take over?
Well,
are they not two different
No,
things?
which he was preparing to be known as president.
Okay.
And so he must have prepared himself to know that there are aides who would misguide him and misadvise him. And he should have learned from past leaders who have fallen into that shoe. So if he doesn't learn from it, and then it comes out and people are making excuses for him, then those people that are making those excuses are not even sincere. They are not patriotic.
They don't care. Patriotism, I don't know if it's in the dictionary of the political class in Nigeria, but that's where we are. Now, PDP crisis. Wike attacks Makinde Fubara. That's an interesting story there. PDP crisis. My question I've been asking is, do we have a PDP? Why is INEC not telling us which faction of the PDP is still PDP? Because we need to know that on time.
We don't even we don't have a PDP.
So, because if there are people trading, just showing themselves as PDP, one faction here, one faction there, and they're still talking as PDP, it's as if the game plan is when it gets to election, this one will be disqualified and said this is the one that the courts are not saying anything. The INEC is not saying anything.
I have this notion. I keep saying that politically Nigeria has been captured. Economically, Nigeria has been captured.
By whom?
By the APC. Yes. Yeah, I listened to some of the excerpts from Wike's interview, and I listened when he was saying that if the PDP does not settle its rift, it will lose elections in 2020. And I'm asking, which election are they going to lose? Is it the presidential election that you are standing your grounds and saying this is what you want, or is it which other election? And which PDP are you talking about? The truth of the matter is that PDP has been decimated, whether we like it or not, because a Wike faction will not give way for a Seyi Makinde faction. So this brouhaha, they will drag it into the elections 2027, and they'll have no candidate.
Which seems to be the exact thing that Wike is talking about.
That's what he wants.
Who can resolve this problem of PDP? Because
the only way to resolve it is that what's his name? Wike should leave the party. You can't fight yourself. Like what is happening is like saying, when somebody has lupus. I'm sure you know. When your antibody is fighting the organs in the body, will that person survive? You are in the party and you're fighting the party, and you want the party to survive. It's not possible. If you do not agree with the ideology of the party, you do not agree with those who are championing the party right now, the leadership structure of the party is not agreeable to you, and everybody has seen that you have changed your loyalty from the party to the APC government. So why don't you just honorably leave the party?
It still brings us to the same question, because if you're saying the leadership of the party is not in alignment with what you are now fronting as your own ideology, what leadership, what party? Because he has a leadership that is aligning with what he says and what he does.
That is the kangaroo leadership. We know how the leadership came about.
So there should be a pronouncement by INEC and the courts. Let us know, because anybody they produce at the during the 2027 elections, we will know that they are not candidates because they are not the party. But no pronouncement has been made.
Has the problem in Labour Party been resolved despite court pronouncement? It's not about court pronouncement. You see, the thing we now have in this country is that the court makes a pronouncement. The individuals, their lawyers, interpret it the way it suits them. And then when those pronouncements are made and everybody is running helter-skelter, the courts keep quiet.
Well,
so even if the court pronounces that Wike has been excommunicated, more like from the party, will he leave the party?
he just has a parallel party right now.
So the same Wike that is fighting PDP in one hand, he's still fighting his Rivers State governor. But he has, you see, for me, I believe, and I will say, I said this a long time ago that Fubara should make that move, and he has made the move. And that move has rattled the Wike. Whether Wike likes it or not, no matter the constitution he wants to bring, every party's constitution says that the highest ranking elected officer in a state is the leader of the party.
Yeah, I asked you this question a long time ago too.
Not really saying they have clean hand, but the point is that, in Rivers today, you can't have two leaders. Have you ever asked why Ekwakwanso has not moved into APC? He has been holding meetings, several meetings with Mr. President. Do you know why he has not moved into APC?
The governor says he's likely going to move.
If the governor still moves, there will be war in APC in Kano. I tell you that. Ganduje is there. Barua is there. So if the governor moves, don't forget that Barua himself is eyeing governorship. So, as far as I'm concerned, the governor of Kano State will be committing a political suicide if it goes into APC. What happened to Valentine in Anambra State will happen to him. But you see, I keep telling people, it's not about the governors moving into APC. Don't forget 2023, the former governor of Delta State, Okewa, who was a vice presidential candidate of PDP, lost in his state. He lost in his ward. In Lagos as well. Don't forget, your incumbent president lost. In as much as we say there are riggings, that elections get rigged, manipulated and all of that, but most times the will of the people would hold sway when the people stand their grounds.
Okay. Let me bring back something that was on the news yesterday, and let me pick your brains a little bit. The federal government has forgiven some NNPC debts. So much money in dollars and so much money in naira. In naira, I think it was 5.57 trillion naira, and then we had about I can't remember the money in trillions, about $1.4 trillion or something like that. They just decided that after reconciliation of the books and everything, they will forgive the debts of NNPCL.
Well, when we talk about fighting corruption, we miss the mark, and we miss where we should actually be looking at. If any leader, like I keep saying, if any leader in Nigeria is ready to fight corruption, you start with NNPC. You know why? That is the
conduit.
That is where the country stands. Now you're forgiving them. You're not talking about the moribund nature of the refineries. You're not talking about the fact that, there's no accountability, there's no transparency. So it simply shows you that this is more or less a paddy government. So if you forgive them, you write off their debt, and you say, oh, like somebody once said, when you join APC, all your sins are forgiven. If you do that, what message are you passing? It's just like the message where you looked at the man who conducted the 2023 election that people are not happy with, that had glitches, that were unresolved glitches, that has not been able to explain to Nigerians the nature of the glitch, considering the fact that it was the same system that was uploading and transmitting results of the National Assembly. And yet, you reward him with ambassadorial position. What are you trying to pass? The message you're trying to pass is that a student who cheats in an exam and gets a first class, or he cheats and everybody knows he cheated, and then the university now gives him a first class, then it means that you are encouraging every other person to begin to cheat. So in order to fight corruption, the government must close its eyes and be sincere with itself. It must be ready to purge yourself and then purge others. Or you have a situation where the government is embracing those who have been said to have milked this country. So tell me, what is the moral justification? Nigeria matter tire me.
Okay. Well, everybody expects the president to talk at some point about national issues, and like I said earlier on, the president spoke, was it yesterday or this morning? And guess what? He was speaking and giving Nigerians update on the accident.
Is that what the president should do? Is that what the duty of Mr. President? Why do you have the man in charge of road safety?
So he spoke.
Why do you have the Minister for Information?
The thing is, it gave us an idea that the president can still speak.
It's not about if he can speak. For me, it's about speaking on the right issues. Speaking on the right issues. How many Nigerians have lost their lives on the roads? How many of them have Mr. President spoken about? We have accidents on a daily basis. Don't forget that there was one that happened at Ijanike, yes, Ojo, where a tanker
fell
and one or two persons died as well. Has Mr. President spoken about it? Why is our president being selective on what to speak on? Even speaking about itself, the government, are they not ashamed that in all of this there was no ambulance?
Yeah.
21st century. No emergency responding. Nothing. And then people are clapping, oh, Mr. President has spoken. What kind of people are we? How did we get to this level of insanity? Mr. President should address issues that border on the lives of the people. Issues that border on the fact that he's been accused of tampering with the law of the tax law. He's been accused that his government is not even aware of the airstrike. They're just claiming to be aware. So why is Mr. President not speaking about it? Why is Mr. President not telling us?
Giving us update.
That is what Nigerians want. Not telling us about an accident that Federal Road Safety has come out to say they were overspeeding. I keep saying that those who manage this presidency have also fallen into the same situation that those who manage the late president fell into. And that is keeping the people in the dark.
Okay, let's go to Peter Obi's case, 2027. We hear that he wants to officially go to ADC.
I disagree with that word officially. Peter Obi has always been in ADC.
Yeah.
So let us correct the correct.
He said himself that he doesn't need to be. It doesn't need his action to be described as going into ADC.
Better.
But the papers are carrying that he wants.
No, the papers will carry the narrative of what they want. I listened to that. I was on that space. And I listened to what he said.
So how do you think this will play out? He has said that he didn't go all over the world to go and train how to be a good leader just to become the vice. We have in that ADC a serial contestant that may not want to give up his position, and we know also when it comes to primaries, who carries the day may not necessarily be who is most loved.
It's who has more money.
No. Who is more ready to spend more money? Because we can't say Peter Obi is a poor man, but he may not want to spend that kind of money
as much as every other person wants to spend.
So how do you think that will play out?
No, well, for me, I've always said this, and I'll say it to ADC, and I hope they are listening. I know that their National Publicity Secretary, Abulain, listens to VOP very well, and I will say this to ADC. If you want to be a formidable opposition, you must play the game. Whether they like it or not, any party in Nigeria today that puts a Northerner as their candidate will lose flat. There will be protest vote. You see, whether we like it or not, this gentleman agreement of 8 years, 8 years in the north, 8 years in the south, still holds sway. It holds sway. So if ADC wants to be formidable, if ADC wants to play the right game, if ADC wants to really contest the 2027 election, they shouldn't be thinking about putting up a Northerner as their presidential candidate. Because if they do that, they'll be shocked how Nigerians would carry out a proper protest vote. It is because we try not to respect each other's each agreements we enter into. That is why Nigeria is the way it is. But we must learn to respect one another. When they entered into that agreement of, the 8 years or whatever years for the north, whatever years for the south, you and I were not there, and they have carried it through. And they've been following it.
Some argue that it was a PDP construct, not every other political party.
No, a PDP construct, but they followed it. APC also followed it. Those you have in PDP, are they not the same people in APC? Are they not the same people in ADC? What has changed? It's not the people that have changed. It's the name. It's either you're calling them PDP, you're calling them ADC, you're calling them APC, call them whatever name we want to call them. It's still the same people. True. The politicians move according to where they will benefit from. True. They don't have what I call staying spirit. Most of them don't have vision. Most of them don't have integrity. So once they see, I'm losing out here, they move. And that is what is happening with our political system. And that is why I'm saying that the constitution that talks about movement from one party to another, we need to stem it. So that you know that if you're leaving APC today as a senator, you move into PDP, you lose that position.
But is that not captured? Because
no,
it's subject to interpretation, like you said.
No, the Constitution created a lacuna that people are taking advantage of. It says you can move when your party
is having problems.
Even the parties that are not having problem, people claim they're having problem.
Or cause the problem.
Or cause the problem just to move. But we shouldn't allow that.
We that went to the polls selected the people that will go and talk for us. The same we are being shortchanged by the people that we employ.
Well, the
so
thing is,
we
can't stop. We can't stop as a people. We can't stop talking. We can't stop advocating. We can't stop wishing. That is the power of the people. The day you stop, you've actually given room for dictatorship. And we cannot allow that to happen. Because if you move into dictatorship, civilian dictatorship is worse than the military government.
Yeah.
We've seen it across other African countries.
Okay, it's still the front page review, and we're here with Prince Chilaka. We're expecting you to call us at this moment. We're opening the phone lines. Let me just remind you, in case you've just joined us or you've never joined us, to know what our line is, because some people have it, speed dial. The number is 0700 903 903 903. 0700 903 903 903 or 080 36929933, 08036929933. If you want WhatsApp, it's 08171756338, 08171756338. Call us now and tell us what you think. Hello. Okay, that is. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, good morning. This is Emeka from Ogun State.
Emeka, thanks for joining us. Go ahead.
First of all, please permit me to appreciate all the VP members.
Okay.
And the analysis, and also the regular callers. Are you hearing me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
So I really want to appreciate them, all the regular callers. They are wonderful people. Every so I see too from Sierra Leone, and many of them. I really want to appreciate God in their lives because they are really VOP members. God Almighty will always bless them, as we all have been a wonderful family in this station. Amen. God Almighty will always protect us, because it's not an easy for someone to be listening to the station and calling and contributing. So I really want to appreciate every of them. Those that always make us happy. I'm also thanking God in the GOP, because they have educated me a lot of things in political things. So since I've been listening to GOP, a lot of things. So may God keep on blessing you all in Jesus' name. Amen. So what I want to say in the area of our president not being around, when he's been around and when he's not around, so what is the difference? Number one. Number two, he said earlier that we never voted him. He know that Nigeria never voted him. So what are we expecting? Servant to the lead. So since we not vote him in, are we expecting to be loyal to us? So he always be loyal to those that place him there. So, and that's why he obey them, and he doesn't care about Nigerians. So in other way around, we are not important, and that's why. And those that put us in, they always obey him. That is why the INEC, the judiciary, and also the House of Assembly and the rest of them, they always obey him, and they cannot disobey because he's the one that put them there. So those that also put him there, he always obey them. So let Nigeria not bother themselves, rather let them prepare until they vote somebody in, and it may happen that they are the one that vote the person in. Then the person will work for them and obey them and give them the best. So God bless VOP and every member in Jesus' name.
Amen to that. Thank you very much for calling in, Mecca. Let's see. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, please.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Chinaka, good morning, sir.
My name is Alimendo Yo.
My name is Obinna calling from Mexico.
Go on.
The problem we are having is we have never believed to be one people, one country. We are not yet a country. Even the president himself, there is a time he said that he didn't believe in Nigeria. See what happened in Ogun State the other day, the agitators. Now, many people in Nigeria now, even me that is speaking, I don't even believe we have never believed to be one country. That is the problem. When we believe that to be one country, we will sit down in a round table and draw our constitution. Our constitution is in the piece of paper. They are not implementing it. Everything is just like what I'm just seeing as both people that say they are leaders is just like a foul writing. When foul write, you cannot dictate what he wrote. That is what I'm seeing in Nigeria. Everything going upside down. We are just talking every day without no direction. Nigeria doesn't have direction. And we are not one country. We have never believed to be one. When we believe, then we know what to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's take another one. We missed that one. Hello. Hello.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
My people. The Chilaka and the Yango.
Good morning.
This is John Legend calling from Mushi.
All right, go ahead.
Prince Chilaka, let me tell you something. One, like what Mr. Obina just said now. When Nigeria people want to scam somebody, they put something on it. You see this one Nigeria, go and tell me all the whole countries in the world where they say one America, one London, one this, one that, one this. This is a capital scam. This is the capital scam the people that colonize us did to us, because they know that we are not one. That is why they bring us together and add that one there, so that we can believe that we are one. Tell me where we are one from. Because the reason why, if I don't even understand this, if Mr. President now can now talk because of Anthony Joshua, because when I overheard that he talked this morning, I was mad, because so many people in this country have died. Too many to mention. I cannot even mention in this studio that I can. So many of them have died this Christmas. So many people have been kidnapped. Pastors. So many women have been raped. The president has not even said anything. Now he said because of who is Anthony Joshua. Is he not a human being like me, like every other man that in there at this criminals? Then we are all human beings. Nobody is higher than each other. We are all equal. If he can only do a speech because of only Anthony Joshua that is dead, how of so many people that have lost their life in that road, in that particular road? Go to all the whole roads in Nigeria, all the whole places that they are scamming us to pay tax. Is it not the same bad road or the same bad things that are causing all these accidents? It's because of bad road. If the government are doing their job, all these places will not happen. Now they don't have ambulance. Is it not the same tax money they are sharing? This money to buy this ambulance. When people are scamming somebody, you people need to know it. You see this one Nigeria can never work. Whether you like it, it will never work. Let us make a regional government. Let every state manage what they have and have a central government like what we did before. That is how this Nigeria works. If you're talking about one Nigeria, it can never work. Thank you.
Prince Chilaka, you want to say something?
Well, that is on, but I'm also one of those who believe that we need to sit down, look each other eyeball to eyeball, and ask ourselves, what's the way forward?
Exactly.
What we have in Nigeria, in all sincerity, is a forced marriage. It's an arranged marriage, so to say. But if you bring two people together as husband and wife, and along the line they no longer love each other, they no longer believe and trust each other, you bring them to a round table, let them sit down. If their situation becomes irreconcilable, then you now say, okay, what do we do? But this whole idea of saying that the unity of Nigeria is not negotiable, in the constitution you don't have referendum, you can't even talk about it. It's not helping this country. Because every day people are agitating. The Southeast are agitating, the Yorubas that even have the presidency are agitating. They're not indirectly agitating. Everywhere there's agitation. So I think the best thing is we need to sit down. I don't know the fear of the leaders. I don't know the fear of those who feel that we cannot sit on a round table and discuss about Nigeria. But I think it is getting to that where we need to sit down to really, really discuss. Do we believe in this structure called One Nigeria? And if we do not, what is the way forward? We need to sit down. And the earlier, the better.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
My name is Comrade Olatunde Mekodumoru from Abubasule. So I believe Nigeria will work. So we should be praying for our country, please. So that is one. You see that accident, where the accident happened against this man, Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
I wish him quick recovery. That road has been done. We should not be saying bad road that
Ibadan Expressway. So the road was done by former governor of Lagos State. One was a minister of works, that is Babatunde Raji Fashola. All the minister has been making money from that road. They did not do anything. But during Fashola time, the roads, Ibadan was done well. So the problem is, you see, some of our driver, they don't know the area you have not been going before. You should know, you should have a speed limit. I'm not blaming them. You understand me? So the same thing also happened at this place. Hello?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
At this Third Mainland Bridge, when David Umahi renovate that bridge, you see the way they are running. So that is for Nigerian. So concerning this insecurity, I want to thank a VOP. Please, we really appreciate you. Our sister that we used to talk about, Shakirat Atonda Saka, she ran away. She managed escape from kidnapper yesterday.
Oh,
the agreement
wonderful.
Today was to bring the balance of 5 million naira. Even the money has been changed to cash. I said in the Yoruba program this morning with Oyofolu. So, not knowing that there were a lot of controversy between the kidnappers. You understand me? So that was when this our sister be unable to escape from their captivities, from their midst. But now, as I'm talking to you, Baja Palace at Kwara State. So people of Ilala from Kwara State, the local government and the fellow local government, we are thanking VOP for your support and for the broadcast. So we really thank you so much. So when the
Hello? Okay. Well, it's good news.
Yeah, it's,
very good news.
It's we thank God because sometimes people don't realize what it takes to restrain one's movement, and then the restraint is under coercion.
Yeah.
It's a good news. Yeah, but let me make a correction. Nobody is saying about the road. What we are saying is that the way it's been related is the problem. You can't look at two issues and you don't talk of one and you talk of another. Nigerians are not saying that it was that the accident was good. No, what Nigerians are saying is that the same way you are talking about one person's accident as a citizen, also talk about others. There have been other persons who have gone through the same thing and nobody blinks an eye. So that is what Nigerians are saying, and we must get that clear.
Okay, not just accidents, bombings here and there, kidnappings here and there, and Nigerians have never been addressed. And now, even from abroad, because he's in Europe right now, and then he addressed Nigerians and gave us update. The president himself gave us update. Our president can talk. I like it. Oh, God of mercy. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, Mr. Wike, what is information?
All right. Put up your radio, please.
Is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Concerning Peter Obi's statement that he will have traveled over the world to come and advise somebody. That is what you call wise statement from the wise head. And this is what the country needs. If only we can choose our leaders by our merit, we should not be in this problem we are finding ourselves today. It's as simple as that. Somebody who has worked for something, who has the track record, among the major politicians in the country, he's one among the few that have never been invited by any either ICPC or EFCC or something like that to question him about how he handled the state he handled for 8 years. And since after then, no corruption has been traced to him. I'm not saying he's a saint as a person, but these are the criteria we look at. It's unfortunate in Nigeria, those who have the right CV will not be given employment. It's those who are coming from behind that will take their position, maybe out of knowing somebody or something like that. That is what we have to base our decision if we want this country to come out of this quagmire. Secondly, the forgiveness of sins by federal government on NNPC. You should understand where that is coming from. because they are all implicated in those. If the probe goes further, or even those in government will pay for it. So they just find a way out, and that's the problem with the leadership we're having. It's always looking for loopholes to get out of something. So how can you discourage the corruption when you are forgiving people this type of money that belongs to the people, and you are taxing the people who did not embezzle the money and increasing their taxes by the years without giving results? We must be very optimistic and know what we want as a country. Let's leave sentiments apart. Let us work for the progress of the country. Yes, those who are saying that the country cannot stand, of course, you can look at the citizens, what is going on in the country. Does that the point towards a country that wants to be in unity? If we cannot be, it's not by force that we should be called one nation. We can relate with other nations as we're relating with our neighbors here. It's as simple as that. Thank you. God bless us.
Thank you very much. Yeah, debt forgiveness, I have the figure, $1.42 billion and then 5.57 trillion and NNPC debt. I just read some budgets that have been passed by a lot of states.
Most of them are not.
They are not. Even Lagos State is not up to the 5.57 trillion naira. Lagos is the largest economy. More than
no, but actually that is the same budget. It's like the budget they give to customs. It's like the budget of customs for 1 year. The revenue they are supposed to generate in 1 year. That's what you're forgiving. Nigeria is a joke, honestly.
Interesting. Okay, let's see. Hello, good morning.
Good morning. Is that VOP?
Yes, this is VOP.
Yes, my name is Sowore.
Taiwo, thanks for joining us. Go ahead.
Let me first of all thank the VOP for this opportunity. Okay? But I just want to make people understand something. If something is happening to your side, don't generalize it. Like what your analyst was saying this morning, that during the time of expansion, there's national grid collapse. In our area, we have 24 hours light throughout, even up to now.
Which area, sir?
Mushi Alafia Street is on the road. Go and find out.
That's interesting.
Yes, go and find out.
Because it's not VOP that said national grid collapse. So
I don't know where it's coming from.
You guys are very lucky then.
Because wait now. Excuse me, your analyst said it this morning. I didn't say VOP. I say your analyst.
It is on the newspapers. We are reading the newspaper.
Wait. In Agege,
yes,
where one of my parents lives.
Yeah.
In Okwaba, they are having the problem of light there. Always complain, but you people are enjoying. So I just want to correct the intention that if something is happening in your area, don't generalize it.
We do respect, sir. We do respect, sir. The newspaper says that the national grid collapsed, not that we said. So except you are saying that you have your own national grid that did not collapse.
No, that also brings to the fact that that message must have come from the federal government itself. So that means they lied. They lied that it collapsed. Go ahead, please. Go ahead. Oh, okay.
Namgo, it's very unfortunate when people call and they want to change the narrative. What we're doing here is headline review. We're not doing Namgo and Chilaka review. We look at what the papers put. And if they say the national grid collapsed, it's not me, it's not you. It's from the federal government. They have announced that the national grid collapsed. So if you have a problem with that word collapse, go and take it up with the the federal government.
So maybe the federal government lied. So that's a problem again.
It's possible.
It's a problem to me. Why would they be lying to us? To what end? Well, the federal government is the one that said the national grid collapsed. And if you are connected to the national grid and it did not collapse, then that's something to study.
Okay, there's something I have here. It was published yesterday. Yesterday was 29th.
Yeah.
It says Ibadan Disco 80 megawatts, Abuja Disco 20 megawatts, Benin Disco 20 megawatts, Eko Disco 0 megawatts, Enugu Disco 0 megawatts, Ikeja Disco 0 megawatts, Jos Disco 0. And so if this is published, it's not if you're saying that Lagos has zero, so where are you getting your light from? Maybe you have a national grid under your pillow that you just brought out to give you light.
Maybe connected to our solar. It's possible. It's possible. Anyway, we are not disputing the fact that you had light, but this is information from the federal government that got to us. We are just x-raying. It's not Chilaka, it's not Nyamgul, it's not VOP. Hello, good morning. Hello. I wonder why we have a flat line. If you're talking, we can't hear you, so please call back on WhatsApp. Hello. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hello.
Good morning.
Let me just talk on topic.
Okay.
One, in 2023, Nigeria were waiting for PDP to take over the country. The PDP, after the decided to and decided to centralize themselves. There was a committee that was set up. First of all, the macro-zone issues. Even then, I think if they don't need to start, you have to support the idea and support the candidate. But after party to come to not, there should not be jealous. And the third committee.
Your audio is not really good. Please, you might want to call back. Your audio is not really good. You're making some wonderful points, but we can't hear you well. It's distorted. So please call back and let's see if we can get a clearer audio. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Mr. Yanko, can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Oh,
Go right ahead. I can hear you.
This is England speaking.
Okay.
Mr. President, our dear President, I mean my beloved President, they give press release because of say Anthony Joshua get accident where he carry 2 lives, we follow and waka. And now we are just assuming that maybe the overspeed when make the accident occurred. Now they ask road safety question. Should the overspeeding? Should they monitor the guy as the overspeed? I mean they get CCTV camera where they monitor overspeeding for anytime they get accident. When they call explain the people where they don't die for this same road, make we understand. The roads are bad. I hear person say this Lagos Ibadan expressway, say the road they don't do one. Shame at this Pashi road where all these ministers they collect billions take the Pashi road for us because of say their senators and their ministers know they follow the road. They don't know what thing they call road. When you say road that people are paying tax for and you are calling the same road, how can an international celebrity maybe say well known in the world get accident, no ambulance, no nothing, no emergency number to call? See people just they look like say they see television for the very first time and they shine teeth. Human lives worth nothing in a country, and we have presidents, we have senators, we have ministers, and they want to come and collect tax. My sweat that they don't know whether what thing they take, where they generate the money to take and do what. To send their children to the best school in the United States, I need to give them a luxurious life that a child of 21 years can afford a house in dollars.
Evelyn, we just had to cut you off because it's time to pay some bills and make chance for the next program to come on. I hope that you will call at 10:30. Thank you, Mr. Chilaka, for coming on the show this morning. And we'll come back at 10:30. Don't go away.
Original people are on a